welcome to Let's Get Literary with Jessica Stevens. Tonight's scented candle is Mrs. Meyer's Clean Day, and it smells like lavender. It is the perfect soothing and relaxing scent to get cozy with fuzzy socks and to curl up with a great book. Tonight's book is Divergent. Yes, the movie's already come out. I'm sure a lot of you read the book. I'm going to do a short review on it really quick. Divergent is about a girl named Beatrice Pryor. Beatrice lives in a dystopian world. The government has split everybody into factions. These factions are split into people with different duties, different responsibilities in order to keep the peace without invoking any more war. So this girl is born into one of the factions that is more docile. They're kind of the peacemakers. But once you become of age, you have to go into the ceremony where they draw your name and decide what faction you will live in for the rest of your life. And guess what? If it's different than your family, that is the last day you are ever going to see your mom, your dad, your brothers, and your sisters ever again. So Beatrice is feeling kind of nervous. She's not really sure what she's gonna get or where she's gonna belong or if she's gonna be able to stay with her family. She ends up first being sorted into a group that is all about being brave, being bold. So having come from the faction that is all about peace, all about tranquility, now she's in Dauntless, which is the fearless and the reckless group. They are going to her new home and they've jumped on this crazy train. It's really scary, it's really dangerous, like actually life-threateningly dangerous. And so we're going to read a small section of right after this is happening, just to give you a little taste of some of the thrill and the excitement and the seriousness in this book. So here we go, let's get lit. On 3, we launch off the train car, a weightless moment, and then my feet slam into the solid ground and pain prickles through my shins. The jarring landing sends me sprawling on the rooftop, gravel under my cheek. I release Christina's hand. She's laughing. "That was fun," she says. Christina will fit in with dauntless thrill seekers. I brush grains of rock from my cheek. All the initiates except for the Amity boy made it onto the roof with varying levels of success. The Candor girl with crooked teeth, Molly, holds her ankle, wincing. And Peter, the Candor boy with shiny hair, grins proudly. He must have landed on his feet. Then I hear a wail. I turn my head, searching for the source of the sound. A dauntless girl, so a girl that grew up in this totally risk-taking, thrilling group, stands at the edge of the roof, staring at the ground below, screaming. Behind her, a dauntless boy holds her at the wrist to keep her from falling off. "Rita," he says. "Rita, calm down. Rita." I stand and look over the edge. There is a body on the pavement below us. A girl. Her arms and legs bent at awkward angles, her hair spread in a fan around her head. My stomach sinks and I stare at the railroad tracks. Not everyone made it. And even the dauntless aren't safe. Rita sinks to her knees, sobbing. I turn away. The longer I watch her, the more likely I am to cry, and I can't cry in front of these people. I tell myself as sternly as possible that this is how things work here. We do dangerous things, and people die. People die, and we move on to the next dangerous thing. The sooner that lesson sinks in, the better chance I have at surviving initiation. I'm no longer sure that I will survive the initiation. I tell myself I will count to 3, and when I'm done, I will move on. 1, I picture the girl's body on the pavement, and a shudder goes through me. 2, I hear Rita's sobs and the murmured reassurance of the boy behind her. 3. My lips pursed, I walk away from Rita and the roof's edge. My elbow stings. I pull my sleeve up to examine it, my hand shaking. Some of the skin is peeling off, but it isn't bleeding. "Ooh, scandalous! A stiff flashing some skin!" I lift my head. Stiff is slang for abnegation, and I'm the only one here. Peter points at me, smirking. I hear laughter. My cheeks heat up, and I let my sleeve fall. "Listen up, my name is Max. I'm one of the leaders of your new faction," shouts a man on the other end of the roof. He is older than the others, with deep creases in his dark skin and gray hair at his temples, and he stands on the edge like it's a sidewalk, like someone didn't just fall to her death from it. Several stories below us is the members' entrance to our compound. If you can't muster the will to jump off, you don't belong here. Our initiates have the privilege of going first. "You want us to jump off a ledge?" asks an erudite girl. She's a few inches taller than I am, with mousy brown hair and big lips. Her mouth hangs open. I don't know why it shocks her. "Yes," Max says. He looks amused. "Is there water at the bottom or something?" "Who knows?" He raises his eyebrows. The crowd in front of the initiate splits in half, making a wide path for us. I look around. No one looks eager to leap off the building. Their eyes are everywhere but on Max. Some of them nurse minor wounds or brush gravel from their clothes. I glance at Peter. He's picking at one of his cuticles, trying to act casual. Oh girl, you know he's totally scared. I am proud. It will get me into trouble someday, but today it makes me brave. I walk toward the ledge and hear snickers behind me. Max steps aside, leaving my way clear. I walk up to the edge and look down. Wind whips through my clothes, making the fabric snap. The building I'm on forms one side of a square with 3 other buildings, and in the center of the square is a huge hole in the concrete. I can't see what's at the bottom of it. Oh, that is not even one of the most intense scenes from the book. But if you can imagine the emotion that's happening at that time, just thinking, I'm never going to see my family again. Here I am with this new place. I've already had to jump off of a moving train. I just saw somebody die. And now I have to jump into this bottomless pit. And if I don't, I get left behind. And I'm either going to die or I'm going to starve to death with the people who don't belong that wander the streets homeless. So she really only has one option, and it's to jump into the pit. If you have not read this book, you don't know what happens, you gotta rent it or buy it to find out what happens next. It is awesome. But slowly by slowly, she's realizing that something is a little bit off, and she realizes that she herself, throughout these tests, and everything, that she actually holds all the qualities. She's kind of like the Avatar of the dystopian world. She, in fact, is divergent, which means that she kind of belongs to each faction, which the government does not like. They like to label you, they like to sort you and compartmentalize you and make sure that they have control, but they don't really have control over her. So Beatrice is put in a really interesting predicament throughout this book, and when she's trying to do the right thing, she's trying to see who the real, true, honest people are and sort them from the lies, find out if the government is really there to hurt or to help, or if this whole entire organization needs to be taken apart and rewritten, or if this is really the best thing for the world at stake. So if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Comment below with the next book that I should review or the next book that I should read. I would love to get lit with you guys again. If you watch from this moment on, spoiler alert, we're about to get into the juicy details. Stay here if you've already read the book and you want a dish. Thanks again, have an excellent evening, and bye-bye. Go read the book. Okay, trigger warning, it's about to get real up in here. From the very get-go, I'm feeling it for this girl. I'm like, whoa, this girl and I, we can totally relate on many levels, because when I walk alone in the streets, I am always terrified. But then you start to realize her biggest fear is being taken advantage of. I'm kind of noticing a lot about her faction that she's grown up in, how they're only allowed to look at themselves in the mirror when they're getting their haircut. It's all about humility, it's all about serving others, it's all about having a mindset of serving the community, which I can see serves its purpose, but you know, moderation in all things, right? It's a little much. And I'm totally feeling the weight. Like, the tension is so thick you could cut it with a knife. The night before they're all getting sectioned off, like her and her brother. Oh my gosh. And she's wondering like what she's gonna do, and he's thinking he knows what's gonna happen to him, but they can't be sure for sure. And it was just a really, really, really intense moment. So then of course I'm hanging on the edge of my seat as we're finding out what she gets factioned into, and then it happens and you're thinking like, whoa, like that was kind of unexpected, and it's totally the opposite of the way she was raised. But then quickly things are getting really weird, and there's those out of control boys that are like super violent and super creepy and always like trying to kill each other, and you're wondering why they're not being arrested and why that kind of behavior is being tolerated. Oh my word, that whole scene when they were like holding her over the waterfall, when they're like dragging people out of their beds and like sticking knives in people's eye. Are you kidding me? I'm really glad that they actually didn't put that in the movie, because that was really gross and gory and I didn't care to see it on the screen. But anyway, let's take a moment and talk about her final test, when she thought that it was all about her and the tank being filled with water and all she had to do was break the glass. That was really cool and really poignant and really like BA. But then when she finds out the real test is whether or not she could break through her fear of being taken advantage of if she'll fight for herself. So in the book, it's obvious that she has a fear of being out of control, someone hurting her, taking advantage of her physically or sexually, which is a very good and common fear to have. And in the book, she thinks the test is over, but it's still an illusion. and her nice boyfriend is kissing her. It's very nice, and then he starts to go a little further than she's comfortable, and she's totally afraid. She has fear, and she thinks this is really happening. So this is a situation where you don't want to continue, but you don't want to hurt their feelings, so you're not sure. So she tries to resist a little bit and be like, hey, stop. And when he keeps going, she finds the courage within her to beat with every ounce of the strength that she has and scream, no, no, and like get the heck out of there. And then it all melts away, and she realizes that it was a test and that he is not indeed a date rapist, thank goodness, and she passed the test. I was so disappointed in Hollywood when they reduced that entire experience to her just being like, oh, I was just afraid to explore my intimate side. I'm not afraid to be with my boyfriend. That was like not it at all. Like they missed the point. I was so frustrated at that. It was so much more. I felt like that was a total anthem to all girls all over the world that have been taken advantage of, and giving them courage and hope moving onward. And Hollywood messed up big time when they missed the boat and made it all about just exploring your intimacy. I really didn't like that because that wasn't the point of the book at all. But anyway, that was really my biggest beef with the movie. It was quite exciting. The book, of course, is always better. If you haven't read the next few in the series, I would recommend. It's very good. Thank you for getting lit with me. Thank you for getting booked with me. Please subscribe, like this video, and share with your friends. Again, thanks for watching. Have an excellent evening. Mwah. Good night.